Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, and today we're getting into some practice Flying Cup Go Battle League battles. Yes, you heard that right. By the time you get this video, tomorrow, November 5th, in your time zone from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., Pokemon Go will be hosting a Go Battle League PvP event, which will be called Go Battle Night, and during this event, we will be participating in the Flying Cup. I do not know for a fact if we will be able to participate in the other leagues while Flying Cup is also going on, but based on the way Halloween Cup happened, I would actually assume that Flying Cup will be the only Go Battle League battles you will be able to do during this time frame. Now, during this time frame, you will be given 20 sets. That is 100 battles of Go Battle League battles that you can participate in if you choose to, and they will be in the Flying Cup. If you do not know what the Flying Cup is, it is a great league meta, so your Pokemon have to be 1500 CP or below, and you can only use Pokemon that have a flying typing. So that means they can be dual typing. They could be electric flying, they could be water flying, they could be rock flying, and we're going to talk about Pokemon that fit that category, but they must have a flying typing to participate in this cup. And honestly, outside of, Tornadus, all flying types are dual type Pokemon, but anyhow, that's a whole different topic. So let's move forward. What I have for you guys today is 5 practice battles that I announced on Twitter, so if you ever want to appear in a YouTube video, I highly recommend you check me out on Twitter and give me a follow there. I make these announcements when these specific cups, and we're getting more and more of them, appear just so I can get a little practice to showcase for you guys on YouTube, and I'm really hyped to show you the team that I came up with. Also, as these battles are going on, I'm going to talk about some of the meta mons you can expect to be seeing a bunch of during the 6-hour time frame of Go Battle Night. So if you're excited for all this content, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump into these battles. As we get into these battles, I will talk about the team I put together there and a little spice pick that I'm excited to use in the Flying Cup, which you might have noticed is the Gligar. It's actually a Shadow Gligar. Just a little brief thing. It counters the 2 top, PvP Poke is updated, but 2 of the top meta mons you can expect in Flying Cup battles in the form of, Aerodactyl and Emolga, Gligar, Shadow Gligar, counted both of them. But anyhow, I will talk more about these battles after I go over some other stuff that I want to talk about. So let's go over the meta really briefly and what Pokemon you should expect to try and use, or what Pokemon you should expect to see. Now, Flying Cup was supposed to happen, I don't know, a month or so ago, maybe less than that, around that time frame. I'm not going to get exact because I don't know off the top of my head. But the point is, it was supposed to happen a while ago, and when that meta was announced, the main Pokemon to look out for were Aerodactyl, Emolga, Mantine, and then you could throw in Zapdos, you could also throw in Skarmory, and Altaria. Those were the main Pokemon. Now, since then, not too much has changed. Mandibuzz has been introduced into Pokemon Go, so you might expect to see some Mandibuzz play, and some shadow versions of certain Pokemon like Aerodactyl and Skarmory have been introduced to Pokemon Go, and you should definitely expect to see those around because it gives that high attack boost, and I do expect this to be a meta that revolves around Aerodactyl as I'm going up against one in this battle, especially the shadow version, because that rock throw is going to be dealing super effective damage to a majority of flying types within the Flying Cup meta, right? Yeah, because wait, hold up. Rock throw. Oh, Skarmory would be one that takes neutral damage. See, I know my typings. That's why I said majority. I got that figured out, and that's why Skarmory actually has some nice play in this cup. But Skarmory, specifically, you want to use a very unorthodox moveset. You'd actually prefer Steel Wing because it deals better quick move damage, and I think it gives it a better matchup against Aerodactyl specifically, since it's going to be such a metamon. Then you'll have Sky Attack and Brave Bird as your charge moves. But Steel Wing, quick move on Skarmory. If you plan to run it, use Steel Wing. I'm kind of just getting a little distracted with this battle. Mantine's going to counter or bubble down Zapdos there, so that was quite intriguing. And then the Aerodactyl's going to take this super effective Ice Beam, and I'm going to be able to pull off match number 1. Didn't talk too much about it there, but Shadow Gligar did flip switch after losing lead, and that was huge. But I still have more meta stuff to talk about with you guys. So, talking more about this meta and talking about the team that I ended up coming up with for these battles, the top 3 Pokemon you should be expecting to see all over everybody's teams for Flying Cup battles are Mantine, Aerodactyl, and Emolga. You'll definitely see some Zapdoses also. You'll see Skarmories, you'll see Altarias, you'll see those, but I think those 3 that I mentioned first will be the top Pokemon you should expect to run into, which is why team comp-wise what I came up with was I want to run something around Gligar. Gligar was the plan here because Gligar counters both Aerodactyl and and it counters Emolga, which I find quite impressive, specifically the Shadow version. Now, that leaves me with a Mantine to deal with, which is why I picked up my own Mantine, because of the fact that, you know, that mirror match, it'll be boring as heck, but the mirror essentially kind of equals itself out, and on top of it, Gligar struggles against Alteria's, so that was a logic in also having Mantine, but as I did some practice battles, that Mantine-Altaria matchup is not a fun one to play out. It's extremely bait dependent. You need to land the Ice Beam. The Ice Beam could almost one-shot an Altaria, but if they shield both Ice Beams and you're not baiting, then they can Dragon Breath you and Sky Attack you down. So you really need to land those Ice Beams. You need to be able to bait a Bubble Beam, but a Bubble Beam doesn't do a lot of damage, and it's also resisted by Altaria. So it's definitely a weird one that might get aggravating as you play through Flying Cup matches, but that is why I picked up Mantine, and I didn't know that issue until I started doing battles. Altaria is another Pokemon that I picked up because of the fact that I was trying to cover Gligar's weakness of other Altarias and the electric type matchup. Plus, Altaria is a bulky Pokemon, so I know Altaria will do well against Zapdos, it'll do well against Emolga, and I think it loses the matchup against Aerodactyl, but because of how bulky it is, it plays it pretty close. So that was the logic in coming together with this team, but as I learned and as I played out these practice matches, I realized Altaria is still an issue because Gligar does not play well against it, and Skarmory is a big issue for this team of three because no one specific mon on my team beats it that well. I think Altaria has like the closest matchup. I don't remember off the top of my head who wins it exactly, but it's an extremely tight matchup. So even if Altaria does win it, it's not winning it by much, which is not something I'm comfortable with. So after I did these 5 matches, what I came to the conclusion was I want to drop Altaria and I want to pick up Emolga, but I haven't done battles with that team, and I will save that for Go Battle Night when it happens. Also, let's talk a little bit more about the idea of this Flying Cup. Am I excited specifically for this meta? No. Am I excited to do battles in a specific meta in Go Battle League? Yes. I love the fact that Niantic is experimenting with these things. I love the fact that next season we're going to have 3 specific meta type cups. I don't want to call them type specific because they're not. They're specific on very unique topics that we talked about in yesterday's video when I did the update for Season 5. But I'm excited that they're experimenting with this stuff, and what is crucial for us is we should be giving feedback to them on which metas are great and which ones not so much, and we should do this in the most respectful way that we possibly can. I do believe Halloween Cup was a great meta idea, even if some of the teams became a bit toxic with Grass Hole and Rock Hole. But Flying Cup, not so great of a meta because one type is just not going to ask for diversity in Pokemon that are being used. Now, will we use some unique Pokemon in this cup that we don't use in regular Great League? Absolutely. Aerodactyl is a Pokemon you never see in a regular Great League, so it's hype that it's getting a chance to have success somewhere in PvP. But I still don't think Flying Cup is a great meta for the reason I just said. Next season, back to talking about Little Cup and Catch Cup. Little Cup I think will be funny and it's very silly to play, and Catch Cup I think is just a very poor idea, but Kanto Cup I think is a great idea because of the fact that it'll be a specific meta that won't be too run over by one Pokemon. I know Hypno will have great play there, but I do think it'll ask for more diversity similar to the Halloween Cup. But there will be teams or Pokemon that run those metas because that's just what happens in metas. That's how they're created. They revolve around one Pokemon, and then there are Pokemon that counter that Pokemon, so then the meta adapts and adjusts and changes over time. That's just what the whole concept of a meta is. Now, I kind of went on a whole tangent there, so I do apologize for this big delay in between battles, but let's start talking about the next battle. So, now that I've covered the important topics of the Flying Cup and what the meta is going to look like and my whole thoughts on the meta, let's talk about these battles because I already explained the team and I also explained what changes I made before even going through battles. But here is an example of that Mantine on Altaria matchup. And the issue is with Bubble, it takes a while to get to Ice Beam, and I'm getting to it just before Altaria's getting to a Sky Attack, but not by much. So I really need to play the bait game here, and I successfully do get the shield because Altaria really needs to watch out for that Ice Beam. They're going for a charge move here. Even though I debuff their attack by landing that Bubble Beam, I still don't really want a Sky Attack or this Dragon Pulse to land, which was a huge play by my opponent. R stands for Easy. I think that's his in-game name. Huge shout outs to him. But yeah, I did not want any move landing on Mantine regardless, but then he swaps into his own Mantine, and then I realized, oh snap, my back line, Altaria and Gligar are a bit weak to Mantine also, because again, Gligar does not want to see an Ice Beam because it's going down. Doesn't want to see Bubbles, doesn't want to see Bubble Beam. It's taking super effective damage from all of that. And Altaria, again, I don't like being on this side of the matchup because you know me if you follow me on Twitch. I am baited Bill. I will shield everything, and it's a huge habit that I need to work on breaking. And I don't even remember because I started staring at the camera if I got baited in this matchup, but regardless of the fact, it happens to me too much, and I can already see myself stressed out and frustrated on Go Battle Night, using Altaria, getting baited by Mantines, and losing matchups because of that specific reason. So that's another reason why I plan to make the change in dropping Altaria for Emolga. And one other thing I would highly suggest, which is what I'm going to do, even though I'm only showcasing one team here, and I already explained like what I'm changing about it, but there are strengths to this team, absolutely, and I think Shadow Gligar has a ton of play, and I would highly recommend it as a spice pick. I'm getting that out there now. Or you can just stick, because it's only one night, maybe you just stick to running Metamons. You could probably get away with running a team of Mantine, Emolga, and Aerodactyl and have a ton of success with it. But I saw my Shadow Gligar, and I was like, yeah, I want to drop 200,000 dust and try and be unique. But anyhow, back to my suggestion. This is not going to be the only team I have prepared for Go Battle Night. I do plan on coming up with at least 1 to 2 other teams that I'm going to run through PvP, try and practice a little bit with. I highly recommend, because there's 100 battles, this is going to be some people's last chances at rank 10. And if you're stuck only doing Flying Cup, you don't want to sit out just because you're frustrated at the meta. So I highly recommend coming up with teams ahead of time, trying to practice and preparing for those 100 battles that are going to happen on Thursday, November 5th for those 6 hours. And I'm honestly, by the time this video comes out, I'm not going to be able to showcase another team because by the time the next team video will come out, Go Battle Night and Flying Cup will be over. So just please heed my advice. I plan to have at least 2 or 3 teams going into Go Battle Night. You should too. If you want to see my battles, I have every intention of streaming them all on Twitch, all 100 battles for all 6 hours. So if you want to see that, I think it'll be some extremely exciting content. I'm sure all the other content creators are going to be hopping on too, so if you want to go check them out too, I highly recommend it. It's going to be a fun night, and we should be showing the support and the fact that Pokemon Go is still having these kinds of Go Battle Night events. So yes, feel free, follow me on Twitter, be there, on Twitch, be there, November 5th from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern time, because that's when I will be streaming. So whatever time zone you're in, figure out how that adjusts, and I would really appreciate your support. And you can see all the teams I'm running and how well or how poorly Go Battle Night goes for me. We're either going to gain a bunch of elo or tank a bunch. Let's hope that the Flying Cup is my meta. Anyhow, getting back to the battle, I ended up, losing lead. I had a Mantine on a Zapdos, so I safe swapped into Gligar. They bring in Altaria, and I can actually win switch here if I get the boost. Because Gligar is, honestly, since it's the first form, it's fairly bulky, and even as a Shadow, it still can take damage pretty well. And I'm also getting to these Night Slashes very quickly. So I'm going to go for this one here, and because I shielded, that's going to warrant their shield, and I get the boost here, which is clutch, because now they're going to get to this charge move, and I can use my last shield, and I can farm down the Altaria, have a bunch of energy for whatever they decide to bring in, and throw a boosted Night Slash at it, potentially getting their last shields, or doing a huge chunk of damage. They come in with their Aerodactyl, because you check that top right corner, it's at a rock flying. And I'm going to throw this boosted Night Slash, and look at how much I did. Aerodactyl super glassy as it is, and it's a Shadow, but that did like 2/3 to 3/4 of its health, and it's already in the red, which gave me a chance of potentially winning this game. And I also flipped switch, which was huge. Now, I think just based on the fact that they kept that shield, it ended up being like their saving grace and still pulling off this match. I don't remember how this ended up going. I know this ends up being a close one, and I need to get the shield and throw a charge move before they throw another charge move, because this will force their shield. If I let them throw, they can, again, get rid of their energy and let their Zapdos go down and save that shield for their last Pokemon if they choose to. Now, they're going to get to another charge move here. This, I was expecting to be a Thunderbolt, but I wasn't really counting quick moves there. It ends up being a Drill Peck, so I was actually able to Dragon Breath the Zapdos down, just barely. And then the Aerodactyl comes in, and my Mantine just has too much health, and a Bubble ends up winning me the match. So I actually did pull that one off. I was mixing it up. I don't even remember what matches had passed if I hadn't commentated it, so I didn't even realize we're up to the 4th match of the set. But, you know, making some wins and flipping switch advantage after losing lead. So, Shadow Gligar, safe swap. You heard it here first. I say you heard it here first, like there's going to be a bunch of videos that are going on for a while. for Flying Cup battles. It's only a one-day meta, so this is literally the only YouTube video I'm going to put out, and then I'm going to be streaming all the battles on Twitch the next day, so again, I highly recommend you go check it out. Now, if you want to see my Twitch battles uploaded to YouTube, I could definitely do that, but by the time that happens, Flying Cup meta and Go Battle Night will be over by then. So I don't know if that's something you guys want to see. Let me know. I can always upload the battles on YouTube afterwards. The VOD will definitely be on Twitch for you to check out if you want to. But I want to definitely try to keep the battles as fresh as possible. So I want to try and stick with my spicy Shadow Gligar. If things get frustrating, I'll try to mess around with other mons in that 10 usable ones that are on PvPoke essentially. But if you just stick with the top 3, I wouldn't really blame you. We don't really know how this meta is going to shape on Go Battle Night. This team that I have together here definitely performs well against that top 3. Against Aerodactyl and Emolga, we have a lot of options to deal with them. Mantine is the biggest issue, but I'd recommend this team, especially if you want to deal with those Mantines. Drop Altaria for the Emolga, and this will be my one team recommendation for Flying Cup, and I hope you have success in your 100 battles. But as Go Battle Night goes on, I'll be probably changing up teams, especially if stuff gets a little frustrating over time. Who knows, maybe I'll mess around with the meta mons that I just mentioned, but I do want to keep things fresh, so I will make sure I come prepared to Twitch on Go Battle Night with as many spice-ish teams, usable teams, winnable teams as possible. What you'll notice here in this matchup, though, is that we got a little bit of lag there. My opponent got a couple extra Steel Wings through. I just swapped into my Gligar here, and that was very unfortunate. I don't think it necessarily completely flipped this matchup. I think Skarmory just gives my team too much of a hard time for me to win this matchup regardless, but what you will notice as this matchup ends is that I end up falling like short of a Night Slash that would take out the Skarmory. And that's because it got those couple Steel Wings in. I remember there's definitely an Aerodactyl in the back that's almost dead, and there's also a Mantine in the back that's almost dead, but I don't think my Gligar's remaining health along with my Mantine's remaining health would have been enough to deal with his low HP Pokemon also. But it was unfortunate because I would have preferred to see how this would have played out. It also would have been nice if I would have gotten a Night Slash boost and I would have been able to deal with that Skarmory better. But yeah, so now I come back in the Mantine. I could have thrown the Bubble Beam. Well, actually, no, I do go to throw the Bubble Beam. I was like, dude, I want to just give up here. And then I'm like, you know what? Steel Wing hasn't taken me out yet, so let's throw the Bubble Beam and see what he's got left in the back. And we see the Aerodactyl with that much health. Honestly, the Rock Throw still would have hurt Gligar a lot, and Mantine was practically down. Maybe it would have gotten to a Bubble Beam, but again, he still has his own Mantine, so it's GG's there. This is still a team I can suggest you trying out. Again, my top recommendation, if you want to use this team, drop Altaria for Emolga. Should have a lot of play. Hopefully, if you come check me out on Twitch, like I'm saying for the 50th time, I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting night. I'm super hyped for Go Battle Night. As much as this meta isn't the thing I'm the most excited for, I'm excited for all the Twitch streamers that are going to be streaming their battles and how much we can try to expand Pokemon Go PvP on the Twitch scene. So that's what I'm hyped for. And I hope Niantic continues to have events like this because it really encourages that type of content. But yes, you already know what I'm going to say. Please throw me your team suggestions for Flying Cup in the comment section. Maybe I'll take a couple and I'll shout you out on Twitch when I use them. Also, let me know what your thoughts are on Flying Cup, on Go Battle Night. I love hearing your guys' opinions, and I seriously mean that. I know I've been having a harder time responding to comments recently. I've just been really busy with my work outside of this, so I do apologize. But I promise you, when I heart your comment, I've read it and I've taken all that value, and I do appreciate you giving me that feedback. But yes, let me know what you're expecting from this Flying Cup meta. Let me know some team suggestions that you plan to be running. I'm curious to see how Go Battle Night turns out, and I'm hoping for more of these in the future. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.